I feel like I'm ever so slightly lopsided. Hi and welcome back to the Yarn Chicken. Today is the next episode of my If You Start Knitting Now, You'll Be Done by Christmas. We are getting to crunch time. So I will try to crank these out a bit more frequently because it's going to take some time knitting. So I hope you already got your gift knits for your nibblings and your cool aunt sorted. However, okay, if you do have a male identifying partner, last episode was for gifts for them. And now, if you also have a female identifying partner, this is good timing. And if you don't have a male partner, but you have a female partner, or if you just want to look at some cute patterns, here we go. This is the girlfriend or female partner edition. So today I've chosen 3 sock patterns because, oh my god, her feet are probably cold. Always. I've chosen 1 pair of mittens, fingerless mittens or gloves, because she needs those to walk the dog, right? If it's not her dog, it might be her friend's dog, because she's probably dog sitting on the regular. And then I've chosen a cute knitted basket because trinkets, stuff, hair ties and things. Need I say more? This video is for all of us fortunate enough to fall in love with ladies or people identifying on the lady part of the gender spectrum, or just people who love cute shit. Honestly, you do you boo, I'll do me, great times. I am fortunate enough to be a part of a very queer friend group, and it's currently 3 same-sex couples and then me and my partner, so we are the odd people out, and I have a single friend in that group as well. But I tried looking at the dynamic of these 3 relationships that I have the most insight into. I've never been in a long relationship with a woman or with someone who identifies as a not male person, but from what I can gather and from my own thoughts and feelings and gut feelings as a bisexual, pansexual myself, I have figured out that we are always cold. I don't know if it's a neurospicy thing, I don't know if it's a bisexual lesbian thing, I don't know if it's a woman thing, I don't know if it's just poor planning thing, but we're always cold. So I'll start off with the chunkiest of socks. This is the Hibernal DK sock by Summer Lee. English is not my first language, if you hadn't guessed, so I don't know how to pronounce this. I don't know if I've ever seen this word written out like that. I mean, I know of hibernation, but hibernal? What is that even? DK sock. Anyway, I'm guessing it's for those days where you just feel like you want to hibernate. And this is exactly the right pattern for that, I think. This is a beautiful, dainty but robust at the same time, which is a difficult balance to strike. Sock with cabling going down in spirals, intermingled with a rib. I think it's a 2x1 or 1x2. How do you say that? It's a rib anyway, between the cables. And this is, as I said, knit on a DK weight yarn on 3mm needles and 3.25. No, a size 3 needle, which is a 3.25mm needle. And I love that these pattern pictures actually come with 1 pair in a Birkenstock, because socks and stocks, such a good combination, honestly. So this first pattern, it is a paid pattern. It's $5.30 US. So she has a few different suggested yarns. The Lang Yarns Mohair Luxe sounds amazing. For those of us who don't like mohair too close to the face and neck, because that might be too itchy, for a sock it might be great. Knit Picks Stroll Fingering. How is a fingering weight yarn going to be a DK weight sock? Does not make sense. Is the mohair held double? Yes, it is. Good braining. Okay, so suggested yarn is Langyal Mohair Luxe and Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Together, or Hedgehog Fibers Merino DK, because that is, as it says, a DK weight in and of itself. So this is one of those cute patterns that might push you over the edge to actually knit a more advanced sock, because cables are difficult to manage the first few times around, but once you get the hang of it, it's going to just fly off the needles. It's not going to be terribly difficult figuring out or trying to keep track of which way to hold the cable needle, because it's all going in the same direction, and it's then broken up with some rib between that you can sort of relax in. So this, I think, is going to be a good pattern if you want to try your hand at some light cable work. Next up, for the sock enthusiast in your lesbian life, is the Sock Socks by Athena Liu. So this is a pair of socks that are colourworks of socks. So the pattern of the socks is tiny socks on the sock. And I don't know why I haven't thought of this before, but I love this pattern. It is so silly, and I want to make a pair for myself because I love knitting socks, I love wearing knitted socks, and if I could wear knitted socks with a sock pattern that I knitted myself, it would be Sockception. I don't know that I would need any other sock ever again. Because while I am very blessed in the sock department, I was given hand knitted socks by my great aunt from the age of 0 to the year that she passed away, which was 11 years ago? 10 years ago. So for a bunch of those years, I had the same sock size, the same foot size as I have today, because my feet stopped growing when I was 13 or something. So for 8 years, I had the same sock size, so I had 8 pairs of socks that were mine. But then I have 2 brothers who have bigger feet than I. So I have at least 4 pairs of socks that are too small for them that I inherited. So I have my 12-ish pairs of beautiful socks from my great aunt. My other great aunt also knit me a pair of socks every once in a while, so I think I have 3 pairs from her. And my aunt, my maternal aunt, is also a sock knitter, and she has knit me 2 pairs of socks. One pair that looks like bumblebees with black and white, not black and white, black and yellow stripes, and one pair of really luxurious feeling cable knit socks that are a silk and mohair blend. They are so incredibly soft and I love wearing them. So I have all of these precious socks that are precious to me, and I have knit socks for years and years and years. I think I started knitting socks when my friends became envious of me getting beautifully knitted socks every Christmas, and I think that must have been in like 6th grade or something, so when I was 12, is that about right? So I've been knitting socks for nearly 20 years. Oh my god, that is absurd. That I have a skill. Sorry, this is such a tangent, but I have a skill today that I have been working on for 20 years without thinking about it as something that I'm practicing. It's just something that I do. And I'll tell you, I'm damn good at knitting socks. So I might just knit myself a pair of socks. This is a pattern that is available on the Seedling Stitch Ko-fi shop. So it is free, but it's highly encouraged to leave a donation. I like this sort of pay what you can pattern because it makes knitting accessible to people regardless of their income. What I, in Sweden, with a full-time job, can pay for a sock pattern is not the same as someone in a country with a lower income, or someone who doesn't work full time, someone who is on disability pay or maternal or paternal or parental leave, or someone who is retired, or someone who is studying, or someone who for some reason does not have the same income. So having these pay what you can patterns, I think, is really great. I think I've heard Nicole from Cool Stitches talk about it, that all of her patterns are pay what you can, but people actually pay for them. Because my first thought was that if you have a pay what you can pattern, wouldn't everyone just take it for free? But most people don't, apparently, which I think is a lovely thing, because this is work, this is skilled labour that has gone into creating this gorgeous pattern, and any artist should be paid. So the recommended yarn for this is the Sunless Garn Caesar, which is a fingering weight yarn, so you could basically use your normal sock scraps. This is knit on a 2.25mm needle and a 2.75mm needle, so a size 1 and 2 US. So this pattern is available in what I think is just one size, an ish size, a European 37 to 38. Me with my 41 sized feet find this offensive, that there is only one size and I'm not included in the size. I feel offended and excluded, and I will start a petition about this. I will not, this is a free pattern and that was a joke. But it is adjustable to be inclusive of 35 to 42 size European. So what I'm guessing is that you just add length. You might even, I don't know if you can add stitches very easily between the colourwork charts because they sort of interlace with each other. But if you knit these in a different size than what is given, you will have to figure that out yourself. As I said, this is a free pattern, and a size 35 to a size 42 is going to be quite inclusive. I would like to see a graphic of the median foot size for women in same-sex couples. There should probably be a, what is it called, a normal distribution curve, directly translated from the Swedish normalfördelningskurva. But if there is a normal distribution curve, you should have the standard deviations, and I would like to know how many people in the range would fall into the sizes 35 to 42. Because my guess is that a lot of the people would fall into that size range. Some people will of course be excluded, but I wonder how much. I'm rambling. Okay, so on to the last sock pattern, but not the last pattern. This is the Dainty Eyelet Socks by Sarah Witt Knits. This is knit on a fingering weight yarn on a size 2.25mm needle, and this is a shorter cuff or shaft sock with an eyelet border on the top, which I always think looks so cute. It's also quite sturdy, so the construction actually benefits from that folded over and sewn down hem. So it's not going to be as elastic as a rib, but what you would have to be careful with is actually sewing it down in a Kitchener stitch so that it retains its elasticity, because if you just whip stitches down, you're going to break the yarn as soon as you try to pull it over your heel. This is a very toned down but at the same time textured sock. I really like the colour selection here of the oatmeal beige, because it does feel very relaxed. I think someone getting these would feel very loved. These are socks that don't necessarily make you feel like the raddest person alive, but it might make you feel like a very loved, warm, beautiful person, and who would not want your partner to give you something like that? This is a quite small designer. I think there are currently 4 projects on Ravelry, and this is her only design. That is so exciting. I hope she gets so much success with this because it looks so cute. The eyelets, I'm guessing, are made with just a simple yarn over the first round and then knit together on the second, but it is a very impactful pattern, I think. This pattern is available through Sarah Witt's Etsy store for £2.50, and it is a basic crew sock. What is a crew sock? They pair perfectly with Mary Janes, loafers and flats of all kinds, adding a subtle feminine flair to your look. I absolutely agree. Anyone wanting to look a bit more dainty would love these socks. And anyone wanting to look a bit more rad could go for the socks sock. And anyone wanting to look a bit more very warm and gender neutral would love the, I already forgot the name, Hibernal DK sock by Summer Lee. So there we have the 3 genders, the only 3 genders that I will accept on this channel: dainty, rad and warm. Next up is for your dog walking partner, the dog walk fingerless mittens. I was initially looking at the penny gloves from Petite Knit, but everyone and their mother knows about the penny gloves. But I think that me being a itty bitty tiny channel, I don't need to hype up a pattern from someone who is as successful and huge as Petite Knit. I will get around to knitting something from her at one point or another. The dog walk fingerless mittens is a free pattern. It's available in 6 sizes between 2 genders that I don't really accept, men and women, but size small, medium, large for those 2 genders. I wonder how you would figure out if you're a rad or warm or dainty man or woman, but gender is a spectrum. This has a suggested yarn of Drops Kid Silk and Drops Flora held together, so a fingering weight and a lace weight, making for a fingering but on the higher end of the fingering weight spectrum, as we're talking about spectrums today. And this is knit in a stockinette stitch. You make a gusset for the thumb and then you bind off at an appropriate length. You can also make the arm shaft longer if you want that. You can modify this, you can add ribbing to the shaft. Is that the right word for this? Am I making sense? This part. And you can use up some scraps. This will not use a lot of your yarn, especially those mohair scraps that you've saved up for a scrap project. This might be it. Just make sure that it's a combination that can be washed in some way. I wouldn't recommend using an acrylic together with a wool, or a plant fibre together with wool or acrylic, because they would behave very differently. So I would suggest sticking to either a plant fibre or an animal fibre or an acrylic or plastic, or what do you even call it? Synthetic fibre, yes, to make this pattern, because these will need to be washed. Socks and mittens should be washed, especially if they're used for dog walks and picking up dog poo. You will want to wash them at some point or another. Make it easy for your girlfriend and make these washable. So now that we have made sure that your girlfriend is warm from her tippy toes to her fingertips, I want to give you the last pattern for today, which is a basket. This is the Fringed Knit Basket by Heather Ludinsky. This is a knit in the round with 2 handles and with fringes dispersed across the basket. This is the yarn weight is yarn held together, Aran plus Aran plus Aran plus Aran equals a jumbo. So 1 to 4 wraps per inch. So the gauge is given to 10 stitches in 10 centimeters. So huge stitches. So this is obviously going to be very customizable. Choose whatever yarn you have, whatever yarn combination you have at home. This is also a great stash busting project because you can just pull a bunch of yarns together. They don't even need to be the same fibre sort because this is not going to go in the wash probably. You can just use what you have, pull together a beautiful colour combination and then get cute splashes of colour for the fringe in between. I really like this. The original pattern is quite large and I know what an inch is in centimetres approximately, but I wouldn't knit this in those dimensions anyway because I envisioned this as a knit basket for trinkets. So all of your girlfriend's rings, because she has a lot of them. Hair ties, bobby pins, carabiners, keys on carabiners, the dog leash, all of the stuff that needs to have a place but that tends to just float around. So I would knit this in a smaller size and I would knit it lower. So it still keeps the handles because I think that's a very cute detail. I might even run a wire in the very top of it to sort of hold the handles up, making it look a bit more tray-like than basket-like. But definitely smaller, on smaller needles and with a thinner yarn combination. Because this jumbo yarn, that's the Swedish coming out. This jumbo yarn combination calls for an 8mm needle, and although I do have an 8mm needle at home, I think I've knit with it once or twice and I hated it because it's just too clunky. So I would definitely knit a smaller size. This is also a free pattern, ending off with a free pattern, and I think, as I said, this is a fun scrap project that could be endlessly customized. So that's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found some inspiration. If you do, please let me know in the comments or on my Instagram. It's the Yarn Chicken over on Instagram as well. I'm trying to make this happen and I don't know if I can make Fetch happen. I don't know if I can make Instagram happen because I don't know if I can be asked to actually post and be active there. It's mostly for just looking at cute kittens and nail art inspiration, which is a waste of time because I'm currently not painting my nails at all. But sure, tag me, that would be fun. If you liked the video, please do like it. If you want to, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I will see you in my next video, which is going to be something fun. I haven't decided what I'll post next. I have Wicked Socks coming up. I have a Cascade tank top knitting vlog coming up. And I have these gift ideas for father, brother, mother, and grandparent coming up. I have ideas for them. I'll see if I can actually get around to filming and posting them before the time runs out, before Christmas is upon us. So I might need to keep some of these ideas for next year instead. But I will see you in my next video. Take care.